You mentioned service level agreements, otherwise known by its acronym SLAs. It seems that all firms, to a certain extent, offer some level of guarantee in the form of service level agreements, but what are the key things that executives need to be looking at in the fine print?
The biggest difference is in the rebates. An SLA often has a certain target availabilities, but if you breach that, what happens next? Well, in some companies you have to go and get your lawyer team and go and make a legal claim to attempt to get your money back. With other companies, like Macquarie got a service level guarantee. If any breach would happen with Macquarie, we would guarantee in the next month's bill to rebate them the credit they were due from the breach.
Okay, because things do happen, you know, it's not a perfect world and systems do go down. So tell us a little bit about how Macquarie handles that process.
Well, start with the design. You really got to understand what the customer's requirement, how mission critical it is. So we've got some online companies where their whole business is centered around their hosting environment. They cannot afford to go down. So in that design phase, it's just crucial that you do some sort of high availability design, whether it be clustering or load balancing. The connection to the client's got to have redundant data links, etc. And then going through that, you need to have a very strong network operations center or security operations center. When things do happen, like there is an attack from the internet, it will happen, as you point out. The question in the security world is how do you respond? The time for the staff to respond, the time to start taking countermeasures, actually doing proactive things to stop that attack or that environment. And of course, the linkages with the various regulatory and policing authorities.
There's an argument out there that you may have a presence in the United States as it's much more advanced network operations centers there. What would your response be to that?
I'd strongly debate that. I think a few years ago there was a differential in the price between Australian internet connections and the US. That gap's closed dramatically. I think in terms of skill set, I think there's some very good hosting companies here that absolutely can match, if not do better than some of the US companies.
To my understanding, there are four major ISP, what's known in the industry as T1 providers, being Telstra, Optus, MCI and Connect, which is part of Telecom New Zealand. So the argument is, if all roads lead to Rome, why not just partner up with them?
Just because there's an historical group of companies there, that doesn't mean you're a good hosting company. In fact, the ACCC has actually got an open inquiry into why those four companies got it closed off to other people who wish to peer. If you're in the hosting space, you want to have someone who's going to be very good at managing your infrastructure, your operating system security. Just because you're part of that history roadmap there doesn't not make you a good hosting supplier. Companies like Macquarie, our core business here in the hosting game is set up about doing this managed complex hosting. The connection to the internet is just an enabler of that. The key differentiator is your skill and competency in managing that complex hosting environment.
Now let's talk about security, because security is a big thing both on a physical sense as well as on data protection. Can you tell us a little bit about the key questions people need to be asking to the potential web hosting partner?
They've got to actually ask themselves the questions first about what assets they've got, how important it is. They need to basically do an analysis of risk and impact. Someone like a bank would obviously have much greater requirements for massive security than perhaps a manufacturing company. So you need to do your own internal analysis about risk, threat and impact. Once you've ascertained that you need a highly secure environment, then you've got to look at your hosting supplier. Again, look at the accreditations they've got, then look at whether they've got a 24/7 security operations center, and then look at some of the infrastructure and protection they've got. Obviously managed firewalls is common, and some of the clean internet options like antivirus, anti-spam, content filtering. Then you've got the layer of intrusion detection, intrusion prevention systems. Where we're taking that technology now is with correlation engines. You've got just so many alarm points in your network between filtering at your router level, collecting the thousands and indeed millions of logs. These correlation engines allow you to sift through that and actually try and identify between malicious traffic and real traffic.
What would you say are some major trends that you foresee?
From the research we've acquired, the big growth is actually in the managed hosting space. Yes, co-location and shared will grow, but the fastest growth of that sector is by far and away managed hosting. Because every business and government agency, they've got their own unique requirements. Every application is a bit different, their security requirements are different, their connectivity is different. So that part of the market is absolutely not commoditising. Indeed, they're asking for more and more customisation and complexity, and so that's why that market's taking off, and we're squarely positioned to try and win that market.
What would you say is Macquarie Telecom's unique value proposition?
Well, one of the key differentiators for Macquarie is our ability to integrate. Every business and government agency, they've got a data network, they've got an internet connection, they've got a website, and they all have a security problem. Security is a 24/7 thing, and so our ability to integrate those together is quite key. The second thing is look at our certifications. We are the most highly accredited company in the hosting market in Australia. Those accreditations give our customers confidence that it's not just the hardware that we've purchased, but it's the people, the systems, the processes, the documentation, the change control. They're the sorts of things that customers need confidence in because they're actually trusting you with their mission-critical applications. They're essential.
This is the last question. What would you say, Glenn, are the 3 strategic issues that are facing the business at the moment, and how are you guys going about addressing those things?
The key strategic things in our business at the moment are to do with security. That's becoming a major differentiator. The need for having secure data, internet, hosting, in fact, indeed, secure mobiles, and indeed secure voice. As voice becomes the move to IP, voice over IP, security is just going to become more and more difficult and critical. So security is a very big issue there. The other key strategic objective Macquarie is working on is our Metro Access network. We're rolling out a broadband network in Australia. It's a gigi network that's going to be ready for customers as they're ready to converge their voice and data together. And the other strategic initiative from Macquarie is our customers and serving them as they expand through South Asia.
Great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Billy.